What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Dating. I'm your host, Ali Zaka. Maggie is back for round 2 on another episode, and we're gonna start off with a few things. This episode we're gonna talk about the list. We're gonna do TikTok reactions, and then also Am I the Jerk from Reddit. But before we hop into it, please like, share, subscribe this, share this to your friends and family. We're also on Spotify, Ali Zaka, Nerdy Dating on Spotify. You wanna listen to us in the sound of your ear. But let's go get today started. So we're gonna open up with the list, and this is actually from Kim Kardashian. We react to her list first, and here we go.
Number 1, protect me. Number 2, fight for me. Number 3, good hygiene. I mean, that's like a given. I think I should even take that off. Number 4, calm. 5, no mom or dad issues. 6, patient. 7, supportive. Genuinely happy for me. Successful. Good teeth. Teeth are like one of my biggest turn-ons. The straighter, the hornier I'll get. Just kidding. But not kidding. Spontaneous, fun. My friends and family love him. Someone that can be a role model for my kids, especially that my boys can look up to. No heavy baggage, I have enough. Taller than me, someone that loves to work out, a motivated person, an independent person that's not clingy, and someone with good taste. No balding. But then I don't know, if I'm also in love, like, I'll rub your bald head, you know what I mean? But we're just talking about like our perfection list. Smart, kind, great manners, into self-care. I want to love their scent, even in the gym. Let's get facials together. Can read a room. Let's do lasers. Has their own shit going on. Also adaptable. I love hair. Respect to others, especially when no one's watching. Let's do ice baths together. Teeth, good teeth.
Are you willing to help someone?
Listen, if I would help someone get veneers, if that's what you're asking.
Alright, that was Kim's list. And then there is another list, and it's from Guess Who. Not can I vibe with y'all, but the Desirable Truth podcast. Before I move forward, you want to talk about Kim's list, or you want to go listen to the next one first?
No matter, whatever you want.
Okay. So we're gonna do the Desirable Truth, and then I'm gonna do my own list. I actually found my list from like years ago. So I'm gonna do my list and we'll react to all 3 of them. So here is the Desirable Truth right here in 3, 2, 1.
What do you look for in a guy?
Any guy, as long as he's taller than 6 feet, I'll find him hot. Funny, weird and goofy, can cook / feed me, ambitious and motivated, hygienic and clean, social and friendly, has been in a relationship before, good shoe game. Should I keep going? It's like long.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Has other interests that aren't just sports. Seriously, like fuck off with the golf. Would live within a few hours from my family in the future. This was a big issue in my last relationship. Non-smoker, but I'm a hypocrite. Close with family, thoughtful, likes to try new things and actively makes plans, hiking, going on dates, movies, etc. Likes good music / same taste of music as me, Kid Cudi specifically. Interest with my career, doesn't get jealous about anything, doesn't keep me from any plans, will do what I want and they can't have a problem with that. I'll do what I want and they can't have a problem with that, but that's a given. Makes an effort to meet my friends, likes animals, arm muscles, tattoos, Italian is a bonus, and has sisters.
Sisters. Huge. Biggest green flag on guys if he has an older sister.
Like,
yeah.
seriously.
Biggest green flag on guys if he has an older sister.
Okay. That Desirable Truth. And then here's my list I found. And so my list: goals of dating, find my best friend, marry and have kids. So qualities of best friend, kind of define that. Open, honest, goofy, sporty, likes art, likes movies, a good person. And then I had So reason for, I also have fitness later. So like reason for someone liking someone with fitness, I want to exercise with my wife, play volleyball with, do other fitness stuff. Also healthy lifestyle for future kids, live longer. But then like I had a negative side, like what I don't want, and that's like somebody who doesn't have any friends, who only has one music choice, who watches reality TV only, who thinks anime is stupid / childish, and 5, make fun of you constantly. That was like my negative. So like, what, 11 things? Okay, that's 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 15. My list was like 15. So what do you think about all our 3 lists here?
I think the girl in this Desirable Truth had some that I don't necessarily agree with, but I think for the most part she got some really good ones in there. To be totally honest with you, I think I agree with, minus the balding thing. Everything about Kim's, like, I don't think it really matters how long your list is, because like, you know what you like, and you are going to be doing yourself a disservice if you cut those things out because you know, are trying to just find someone to fill that box.
Do you think a list could be too picky?
It depends. Like, some of this girl on the Desirable Truth, like, Italian being a bonus was, I think, a little bit weird, and like the, like, muscles, I mean, like, people can't really very quickly change their like body
or height
makeup or like height, yeah. But I mean, like, that's her preference, and that's her preference.
Yeah.
So like, that's fine for her. She might not give somebody a chance who's not as tall as she wants, and that may just shorten who is available like for her. But I mean, that's not like saying that she's like wrong or anything.
Right. But so like, I think the difference, like, I know it's bringing all our lists, and I actually narrowed my list down to 2. Eventually, I was like sporty and nerdy. Like, those are 2 things that I narrowed my list down because I knew what I was into, and I didn't want to be with somebody who rejected. That's why I haven't had under like somebody. I dislike somebody who, or don't want somebody who thinks anime is childish or stupid, because like that's something I'm into like a lot, and I don't want somebody to be with me who just constantly resent that. When I want to watch and do something that I find fun and entertaining, they're like, well, I don't want to, or you always gotta watch your anime. Like, I'm about to watch anime. This is what I choose. This is my lifestyle here.
I'm about to watch reality TV, so you know what? We can each have that.
Right? And I remember people was like, well, your list is too. I'm like, no, nerdy and sporty or into fitness is not that narrow. It's a broad spectrum. Like fitness, because I want somebody who like has a healthy lifestyle. I want somebody who I can be able to share my lifestyle with my kids. I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna live a healthy lifestyle, or a moderate healthy lifestyle. I'm not. I'm gonna be at the gym 24/7, 7 hours a day, but I'm gonna be at the gym at least 3 times a week, and I need my significant other to understand that and be okay with that, and not like, well, you always go to the gym. Like, it's Wednesday night. I have to go to the gym. You know, gotta make sure I stay healthy. And also in Ninja Warrior, like, and that the competitiveness and that mindset is different from somebody who just like, I just work out leisurely. You know. So I want somebody to understand that as well. So like my list, I narrowed it down. People was like, you're still too picky. I was like, that's pretty broad. But be like super specific, like, well, she has to be a certain height and this, and be a certain weight and a certain type and this and this. I feel like that just kind of, you might have a preference, but that makes it harder for you to find the person you want when you start looking at like stuff like that. It's whatever your person's preference is, but I think preference, like, I think people should not stick to a preference, but stick to their standards. Like a good person, somebody who doesn't.
Go ahead.
Like a good person, somebody who doesn't disrespect other people, honest, humble, like successful. Define where your version of success is. That can be different for each person. But I think a person should stick to their standards and preference they can waver on. It doesn't have to be, you know, set in stone.
Is anime for you a preference or a standard?
It's a preference.
Okay.
It's a preference.
Okay.
That's why I was like nerdy. Like nerdy can be a broad, like anime is a preference. And that right there was like, because the fact somebody into anime and to nerdy stuff, that anime into fitness, like that's I'll be single forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's a preference. So it's on the list, but it's a preference. But somebody who's open to it, like you are, perfectly fine with that. And you don't judge me for liking anime and stuff like that. That's 100% down with. What do you think of that?
As long as you don't judge me, sometimes I fall asleep when I watch it with you.
That's fair. I don't expect, like I said, it's a preference.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that preferences are a little bit different, like you said, than like a hardcore like drawing of the line. But as long as people are not even, I guess, you know what, I was gonna say as long as they're willing to look outside of that, but I don't think that's really for me to say to somebody. Like, we all have our preferences and we all have our hard lines, and if like that's a hard line for someone, then like that's a hard line for someone. Or
Right.
if that's a preference for someone, that's a preference for someone. But at the end of the day, if they're gonna find who they want based off of their list, then I'm not gonna stop you.
Now, what if somebody's struggling to find somebody who they want based off their list? Like, you saw their list, like, it can't came to your list, and she's like, I can't find anybody. Like, this is my list. What would you tell her? What advice would you give her?
I mean, there's like, I feel like that's a little bit different because like her pool of selection is not everyone in the world. She would probably not date someone who is like an average Joe. So like, I feel like that is a little bit different. But if like a regular person had that exact
Yeah,
same,
well, the
if
second
this girl had
yeah.
this exact same list, I mean, I would be like, then just like hold out, because you don't need to give up on anything. And like everything that Kim said was like normal. Like, it wasn't even like hard to find. It wasn't even like a strict list that was restrictive, minus like maybe the bald thing. But like what she's asking for is like what I would think that everyone is looking for in a partner. Like, good hygiene, like is respectful, doesn't have too much baggage, like is just generally a good enough person so that if you do have children, like your children, you don't have to worry about like what your children are going to see from this individual. Like, that's almost like common sense, I would
Right.
think. Not like
Well-
common sense, but like popular opinion. Like,
Right. Like, baggage is also subjective. Because one person might see it as baggage, the other person might not see it as baggage. Also successful and she said ambitious. Like, a guy, like, success, I wouldn't care less about a girl how successful she is. I wouldn't care less how ambitious she is. I'm like, okay, now she's supportive and able to have her own lifestyle and do her own things and also come back and we can share a world together. Yes, but like most dudes, we like, oh, what are you looking for? Like, what do you like about her? Oh, she's fun to hang out with. She's cool. She like to have fun. She's goofy. She did like we said those things, but like I never heard a guy say ambitious. She has to be ambitious or she has to be successful. Never heard a guy say that. Like, if all the dudes we talk to, like from gyms to volleyball to Ninja Warrior to work, talk about women, we never ever say, hey man, you know what I want on the list? If she ain't successful, I ain't about it.
have you been asking people who are successful though? Because if you ask someone who is not successful, I can almost guarantee you that their response to what seeking for someone is in a woman would be looking for something that they are not, which is more than likely successful, to be able to have someone to support them, because the people that you are most likely asking are moderately successful in their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not like people who don't have jobs, people who are just like moseying around not doing shit. Sorry, stuff. But like that, because you're probably talking
You can cuss
to,
on here.
sorry, you're probably
No, you can
talking to
cuss.
like successful people. Like, yes, success is different to everyone, but you're not asking like someone who is not even generally like successful or stable, I guess. So like, I would say consider the population of who that example is. I would think, like, coming from like someone who has been with somebody who is like not successful in life, like they're looking for that counterpart because maybe they know that they cannot provide that, or they are not willing to provide that. Therefore, they seek that in somebody who will go above and beyond in those categories because they know that they lack that.
So you saying, so the guys I'm talking to, like, or people, the guys I talk to are already saying they're like successful, so that way they're not looking for that.
Yeah, like they are not as concerned about it. Like they're not saying like, oh well, like, I mean, if they can like pay their bills and like do stuff like for themselves, like they don't need somebody to, you know, necessarily be more successful than them, because they're like, well, I'm like already stable enough as is. But if you ask somebody who is like not as stable and maybe like struggling a little bit more, or like, you know, is down and out for whatever reason, like they are probably looking for some type of stability that they do not have. Like the people that you potentially have been asking were already successful in some way, in some aspect, that they aren't looking for that. They're looking for something that they don't have, which is someone to show compassion to, which is someone that they cannot do that kind of thing like for themselves in a sense, which is why they're looking for that quality.
I never thought of that, but at the same time, I guess men, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about the success level, or like even when we come to looking for, like when we look for a woman, we never ever said, not even like, even a dude who's not even making like money, we're not even looking at like her success level. We just, cause I guess because we're taught to be the breadwinners, so on our list, that's not even a thing that's even touches the top of the list. So for a pool, like you ask me like one time, like, what's your type? Like I don't have one. And most guys will probably tell you, as far as personality wise, we don't really have a type. Like even body wise, we don't have a type. You look at a dude like, well, how, like you go through a dude's like history of women that he even took on dates, you're like, each woman's different. Mm-hmm. Like, why is that? Like, we're not looking for just that particular type or a certain height or something like that. Like, it could be a dude who is short, and he could be 5'6", 5'5", 5'3", but even then he'll date a girl who is 5'10", 6 foot. Like, you see it all the time. It's, or a dude who could be, you know, out of shape, balding, whatever it can be. He'll date the model looking like, or look like a model like.
Jelly Roll.
Yeah, huh?
Jelly Roll.
Who's that?
He's like a rapper or a singer who's like huge, big, huge guy. And like completely out of shape, looks very unhealthy. And his wife is like a literal trophy wife. Big boobs, blonde hair, this big. Like you would look at them and be like, what? What is that? Yeah, it's crazy.
So, like, I just think we don't even, like, put that much detail into a list. It's pretty much somebody who will let us kind of be ourselves and don't let us, like, we feel like we have to pretty much throw our whole lives away just to be like, well, I can't go hang out with the boys tonight. I can't go do this tonight. Like, we don't want somebody who constantly will just keep us from doing the things we want to do as far as that list goes. And, like, somebody like her, the girl in the middle here from Desirable Truth, I would tell her, like, look at your list and see what on there's a preference and what's a standard and how to differentiate. Like, okay, how important is this preference compared to your standard? If you want somebody who is ambitious and driven, are you ambitious and driven? Are you honest about that? Like, what is your goals the next 5 years? If you like, okay, this is my goals, then like, all right, maybe you find somebody who has the same life goals and lifestyle as you. And maybe religion. I think at one point, another list I found, I think I had religion or not as religious. What religious preferences are. Like, are you okay? It was me writing to somebody else, like, are you okay with them not being the same religious preference as you? Like, that's something that you want to make sure you look at, because maybe down the line, when you guys have kids and have a family, you want to know how to raise your kid. Like, all right, are you guys going to struggle over how you raise your kid? Or you be like, hey, this right here is, you know, whatever religion, or like, this is all religions, have at it, you know? And I think for her, it'd be more of a, like, what's on your list as a preference that you could say, all right, that's not necessary. Like, for example, what she met a dude that hit everything, but he didn't have sisters. Would she turn him down?
That's a preference, I feel like. Sisters is a preference.
Yeah.
But she did say something that I felt a little bit weird until you just said something, which was she said, I'm going to do whatever I want and he's going to be okay with it. The way that she worded it made me feel weird at first. But then you said that you're looking for, or men are looking for, women who don't have to have them change their lifestyle. Those were the two exact things said a little different. But I'm going to assume here, let me just ask, how did you feel when she said that?
She said, I'm going to do whatever I want and he has to be okay with me doing whatever I want. Or, no, yes. He does whatever I want. She said, he does, let me go back and play it actually. Because I think she says he does whatever I want and he's okay with me doing whatever I want to do. Let me see. Because it was like in the middle. And my headphones on backwards. And here we go.
With family, thoughtful, likes to try new things and actively makes plans, hiking, going on dates, movies, etc. likes good music / same taste of music as me, Kid Cudi specifically, interest with my career, doesn't get jealous about anything, doesn't keep me from any plans, will do what I want and they can't have a problem with that. I'll do what I want and they can't have a problem with that, but that's
Do you
a
think
given.
that she was correcting herself, or do you think that she meant two different things?
Two different things.
I think she was correcting herself.
Really? Let's see how they put it in here. 22.
Yeah, because they made it just one.
Get jealous about anything, doesn't keep me from any plans, will do what I
Will do
want
what I
and
want.
they can't have a problem with that. I'll do what I want and they can't have a problem with that, but that's a given.
But that's a given. Okay,
think that she-
I'll do what I want and they can't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think that she's asking for the same thing.
Yeah.
But the way that, like, it was said, like, if a woman said that to you, I mean, like, I don't know what the reaction would be, right? Maybe you would think the same thing. You're like, well, I'm gonna do what I want, and then you're gonna have to be okay with it. And, like, I don't know, it just kind of seems like combative, like, from the start, you know?
Like her saying, like, come up and say, I do what I want. And I think it's more actions. Like, you'll notice that by somebody, because you have to tell somebody, I'm gonna do what I want, and you have to be okay with that. And you're like you said, I is combative. Like, what?
It is combative, but at the same time, you're like, I'm gonna go to the gym, and they just have to be okay with that. Like,
Yeah.
what if they're not, like, you know, like, there are some situations where, like, maybe that's not, like, yes, you want to do that, maybe it's, like, not the time to do that.
Well, that comes down to, like, life, like something happened with life. Like, that would be something more of, like, situational versus somebody who's like, yeah, I just don't want you going to the gym ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go work out. Like, I can't, for my mental health and for my benefit, I need to go work out. So I gotta go. Like, and if you can't understand that lifestyle, like, if the party couldn't understand that lifestyle, then they're like, I'm out. Like, and that's why I was like, find somebody who's in fitness, because they already understand what it means to be healthy. Mean to be healthy in that sense. Again, a different version of healthy, wherever your version is, but mean to be healthy in that sense. Who understands that lifestyle? Like, oh, I understand. I get it. You gotta go to the gym, mental health, get better, stuff like that, healthy wise. Because that's also a name for me. My gym is also a place for me to release my stress and everything. That's mental health. Mm-hmm. Like, if I don't work out, I am stressed as fuck. I can tell you that right now. But I would say one thing with the list, like, how you know it's a good list and not a bad list, is it's cool to have preferences, but don't let your preferences be your standard. So if your list is nothing but preferences, and like, I preference this, and that's higher on the list than down towards the bottom, you're gonna find yourself finding it harder to meet somebody that you're, like, looking for. You will be more closed-minded to somebody versus giving somebody a shot, because you're like, well, they just don't hit that preference. They're not on my list. They're not number 21. I'm out.
Right.
Like, teeth. Oh, they don't have exactly perfect teeth with, like, no gap or anything. I'm out.
That's a hard line for me. I don't mess with bad teeth.
I have a gap, though. Some people would say
That's
a gap.
not, like, bad teeth to me. Like, bad teeth is, like, bad hygiene. Like, extremely, like, crooked teeth. Like, that's a no for me. That's not a preference. That's, like, a hard line. I can't do that.
I get that. Like, because it'd be like a good smile. So, like, a smile, like, oh, the smile is not good. Like, I'm out. Like, that's fine.
But you still have, like, good teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have, like, bad teeth. You don't. Trust me. I'm telling you, you don't have bad teeth. I would not be here if you had bad
Thanks, babe. But, like, to me, like, teeth was not even anything, like, I was even thinking on the list. Like, but, like you said,
it's like one of my top.
Top.
It's teeth. Like, I'm pretty sure when we first started, like, talking, we were like, what's like something that you can't do? I was like, bad teeth. 1,000%. Bad teeth.
1,000%.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
It's like one of my first 5. Absolutely.
Do you remember the other ones?
I mean, like, good hygiene, respectful, good teeth. I don't know, just someone who is driven and ambitious, because I don't want to work my ass off and then have somebody who cannot match that energy or make me feel like I'm the only one that has to support, like, a unit because the person that I'm with is not able to, like, meet that, which has always been, like, a big one for me. But I also feel like it's always been a challenge at the same time to find someone who is successful in that, because, like, success is, like, different to everyone, but, like, if I were to be able to stop working for one time, like what would that lifestyle look like? Like to me, like that's kind of like how I measure success. Would I be able to maintain the lifestyle I have now if I were put out of work and I was with someone who had any type of like role? Like what would that role be, and could they support me? And then I guess further, like in life, like if I was out of work, could they support me and a family? Because like, and I think as women, we look for that because there will be a time when we cannot work for if you decide to have children. If that's not your thing, then that's like whatever. But you know, like if that is what your goal is, there will be a time where you will not be able to work. So am I going to be like having the hardest time of my life because I'll be at home, like chances are by myself because my partner will be like at their job? Are we like living like not, you know, a lifestyle that we are normally used to living because we're down to like one income? What does that look like? Those are just things like as a woman, I feel like you have to think about like when you date someone, because if you're seriously dating them, that is something that you will have to come across at some point if that is the path that you are looking to go towards. Which is why I think it's so different, because men never have to think that. Ever. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So, like, so your advice to them, because like you pretty much said like the same thing they were saying. So they came to you and they were struggling to like to find somebody. You're like, hey, what would your advice be to someone who are struggling?
I would tell them to wait it out and do not settle for anyone that is not on that list, because you're just going to be unhappy and it's not going to work out, and you're going to ask yourself why, and you're going to look back and think, wow, I made so many exceptions to my list. Then you're going to just be kind of out of luck.
Oh. All right. Yeah, nice points, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we're going to move forward. We're going to listen to some more TikTok reaction here. All right, so this first one is from XO Pippi, and she asked the question. This question is for the women and for women who date men. So here we go.
This question is for women who date men. If you're a man, get out right now. You're not going to like the question. Women who are in happy relationships with men. Do you always have to educate a man? Like, is that a condition for being in a happy heterosexual relationship? I guess I'm asking for like a counterexample. Like, are there any relationships between a man and a woman where you don't have to do that? Because from my own experience and like looking at the couples around me, I feel like there's always a component of like teaching men how to treat you or treat your friends or treat women or just like something. You're always educating them on something. And I also have a dad and a brother. So I guess my question is, am I doomed to work overtime to engage in a happy relationship with a man? Please provide a counterexample, please.
All right. What's your thoughts on that one?
I've never dated someone that I had to educate, because it is not in my eyes like my responsibility to like teach them. And I don't think that I would allow myself to be with someone who I had to teach how to treat me. Like, I don't need to do that at all, ever, under any circumstance.
So what your advice would be to her? Like,
She's dating the wrong people. That's not even advice. I'm just going to tell her that she's literally dating the wrong people.
because like I was sort of thinking like, what do you mean you have to educate men, like about what? Like how to treat
them,
how to treat a woman, like how to treat a woman, like how to treat her, like
yeah, like
what is she like? Open the door, like just being thoughtful, being generous, like being not generous, being like a gentleman. Like she has to teach men how to do that. That's a man should learn that from like family, friends, read. Like I don't know, like a guy should know that stuff automatically. Like he shouldn't be taught to like, hey, when I get into the car, you have to open the door for me every time. Like unless she tells like, no, you don't have to open the door for me. Like I don't know what her counterexample would be. Like what is she looking for? Like what? Because
I don't think she gave enough detail on like the things that have already happened to her to make her ask that question. So it's up to interpretation from the listener.
Right.
But I mean, I'm gonna go back to, if she has to teach them anything about how to treat her, she's dating the wrong people. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Next video here. This is from Megan_Lane_. So, and this one we actually did off camera first because it's like a 2-minute video, and I actually mentioned this in one of my videos. Like, a girl asked, how can a guy approach? No, how can she approach a guy? And I was telling her, how come men don't approach guys? Or so how do men don't approach girls? And I was like, well, it takes a few times. Like, you had to take at least 3 times for us to see her and see her surroundings. Now, in my video, you guys, I actually put a short up too about it. Like, at the gym, if he sees a girl at the gym, they walk in together. He might say hi to her. They're walking out together while she say hi to her, but not in the middle of her workout. And I also mentioned, like, maybe the first time might be like a smile on the high, or first time might be like a hi or gesture, like, oh, she's being friendly. Second time, he might like, oh, say, hey, you know, hi again. Third time, like, okay, I see you all the time. You know, how you doing? And this is like here, like a situation where you're passing going. So let's kind of get into this one here, because this is her out and about working out.
To all you men out there that are like, women can't take a compliment, shut up. I'm gonna tell you a little story that just happened to me. This is the shit that we're talking about when you think that we just can't take a compliment. So I'm running, okay? I'm running in a neighborhood, a decent neighborhood that I've ran in before, and I'm going around and these 2 guys walk past me. Don't think anything of it. I've got my headphones in. I'm listening to music. Nothing about my body language or my face or anything is saying, like, please talk to me. And I just went, I go around another time. I see them again. Nothing about my body language says speak to me. Nothing. 2 guys, probably a little older than me, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but they give off asshole vibes. Picture that what you may. And one of the guys is like, yo, what lap are you on? I take a headphone out. What's up? What lap are you on? Oh, this is my 2nd lap. Put my headphone back in. Keep running. I go back around again. Saw them like way before I actually passed them. At this point, as a woman, God, I love being a woman. I do. But like in these moments, I really don't. In these moments, I wish I was a man, and I'm being dead serious. I turn down my headphones because I want to be completely aware of my surroundings, because this is where my brain goes. This is where, as a woman, our brain goes. I turn down my headphones so that I am completely aware of my surroundings, and I can hear if they try to fucking grab me. I can hear if they run at me. I can hear if a car pulls up behind me. I know that's dramatic as fuck, but that is what happens. That is what goes through our brain. So when you're going, oh, I think I'm gonna ask her what lap she's on. Oh, I think I'm gonna like ask her out, tell her ass looks nice. We're thinking, he might try to grab me from behind. I should probably take my headphones out and look. I run past him again. This time he goes, yo, baby, when you're done, you're probably gonna be hungry. Let me take you out to dinner. I gave him a look, and the look was like, and I kept running. And then, yo, I'm serious though. I'm serious. That's it. Like, I'm not running anymore. I'm not gonna pass them again. Like, don't feel comfortable running anymore. Next time you sit there and you think, bitch can't take a compliment, how about think about the fact that you made that bitch feel so fucking uncomfortable that she can't run there anymore. And she went home because she wanted to finish her run. But no, that is when we can't take a fucking compliment.
And on camera, as you, I was like, okay, in what scenario, what would be the best scenario for a dude to approach a girl in this situation? And you want to fill in what you said?
Yeah, in this situation, I don't think that he should have approached her at all, like, in any capacity. One, she, as a woman, she feels outnumbered. Like, you are 2 men. Historically, men have, you know, been known to make women feel uncomfortable in certain situations, or, you know, potentially bring harm to women for whatever reason that they had at that time. Probably none are acceptable. But she is in the process of working out. As she has mentioned multiple times, her body language, her literal headphones are in, like, she's enjoying her run, she's enjoying her day, not paying any attention or any mind to anything else going around her, like going on around her. And like, they still made it a point, and I'm gonna refer this like more like a gang mentality. Would this man done this if he were by himself, or was this man trying to like flaunt himself in front of another man to like be like, oh, like I'm so cool, like look at me, like try and like catcall her? Because like, in the instance that this man was by himself, I really don't suspect that he would have said a single word to her, regardless if he thought she was the most beautiful woman on the planet. I just don't, because I feel like when people are together, and women too, they just act differently than when they're by themselves. So do I think it was appropriate? No. Do I think that he was able to comprehend that it was inappropriate? Clearly not. But I think that we like also kind of spoke on like the difference of opinion on that. And you had mentioned like your point, like men don't think like that. But like as a woman, like I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know how you're going to react. I don't know how you're going to react if I tell you no. So I'm not going to put myself in a position to where I need to fend for my life or be scared for my life because you want to be funny and tell me, hey baby, you want to take me out to dinner when I'm done with my run? Like, it's completely inappropriate. You're working out. Like, if this girl goes to the same location to run every time, maybe just give her a wave the next time you see her. But is it appropriate to call her out and make her feel uncomfortable or stop her in her process so that you can take the time to do what you want and get the attention on you? Absolutely not. My opinion. But I'm a girl.
Let's play devil advocate here for a moment, because like my sister Kalisa showed on the podcast, she even said like, I'm walking in Walmart, don't speak to me. She even said, she's like, look at my body language. Guys, we're not gonna see the body language. We're not gonna notice that, she don't be bothered right now. She did have headphones in, so that's an indicator, oh, maybe I shouldn't shoot my shot. But let's look at it, and she said these dudes give off fuckboy mentality, whatever the case would be. And she's like, wherever you want to picture that, wherever that is. What if she just wasn't interested in them? Like, what if she saw a dude and he was hot? Like, a girl, like Sam and I, we did a video where a girl was walking by this guy, and she's like, I thought he was really good looking. I didn't know what to say to him, so I just walked past him. And he didn't say anything to me. Now, I was saying, like, okay, devil advocate here, these dudes, 3 times. Like, okay, the first time the dude's like, hey, that dude's a girl with his friends, like, she was hot. Yeah, she was super hot. Like, oh man, well, probably won't see her again. See her run back like, oh, what lap are you on? She's like, 2. Okay, headphones in, keep running. The guy, if he was aware, probably would have been like, let me stop right there. Let me not move further, because she's obviously keeps going. She's not taking a moment to stop and have a conversation with me. Mm-hmm. 3rd time, apparently his friend's like, hey man, probably shoot your shot again, because your friend boosting you up, be like, heck yeah, I'm gonna do it. You never know. Shot again, and the whole, hey, I'm serious. Like, he might not even sound like how she made him sound. Like, really do, hey, I'm serious. Like, no, can I take, after you get done working out, can I take you out to eat? Like, what if he bumped into, like, what if they walked out the gym together and like, hey, next time I see you, you know, if you get done eat working out, you want to go get a bite to eat? Like, would that have been fine?
A gym, honestly, is a completely different scenario than this. If you are in a literal neighborhood, chances are you live by there, right?
Right.
You're probably going to see these people again. But if I'm jogging, like, how many times have, like, women just been, like, taken off the side of the road? It's completely inappropriate. A gym would be 1,000% different because you were in a public setting. Here, no one could see what's going to happen, and, like, I would hope that a man is competent enough to be able to have that thought process, but if they are not, which in this video, it was very evident that that was not the case, then, like, that, it kind of falls back to, like, it, not disrespect, but, like, unable to, like, think that far ahead, then you don't, in my opinion, have any business trying to shoot your shot. Because if you cannot even be respectful in that moment, that she is clearly busy, evidently working out, wants to be unbothered based off of body language and physically having headphones in, then, like, anything after that is just, like, almost disrespectful. Like, in my opinion, it would be. Like, leaving a gym, I feel like, is different. Especially if y'all go to the same gym and you see each other all the time. Maybe you are like, hey, like, I've seen you, like, this is my 5th time that I've seen you over the last couple weeks. Like, we must go at the same time. Like, that's crazy. Even that would be so much more of a different approach than, like, trying to catcall a woman by herself when you're with multiple people. Like, it's just inappropriate and, like, ugly, I think.
Okay, so then what would be your advice to a guy? Like, what would be your advice to this dude? Like, all right, hey, or any guy in general. So guys out there, like, so now, because her reaction is, and people see this video, the guy's like, well, I can't approach women now. I'm afraid to approach women because I don't want to be considered one of these dudes, which, let's play devil advocate here. Let's say they didn't think they did anything wrong. They thought they would just we're on a walk in a big neighborhood. Let's say this in a big neighborhood, there's a bunch of people around, or like at the park, you know, maybe I'm setting a scenario right now because hopefully she like, I had to put my headphone down to make sure there's no cars, but hopefully she was running in an area that had a bunch of people, so she's not just by herself. So like somebody like saw something and be like, oh, hey, that over there. So let's say these two dudes who they didn't think they're doing anything wrong, but then they come across this video and they're like, hey, that's the girl. So what would your advice to him and like other guys out there who was like, I'm afraid to approach girls now because I don't want to be considered this asshole in this video?
Learn from the mistake, because she literally is guiding you to the answer. It's, if I am like giving you so many signs that I do not want to be bothered, please don't take that as a sign to disrespect what I am subliminally asking for and cross that boundary. Because I guess like on the contrary, let's say like I was sitting outside with a group of like a small group of friends, maybe 1 or 2 girls, and you were running in my neighborhood and I stopped you on 2 occasions and I said, well, like, hey, what lap are you on? And then you like would stop, continue on, like, oh, you know, whatever, like, have a great day. And I see you again. And I'm like, hey, baby, like, let me take you out to dinner. Like, what is your thought? Are you like, is that kind of weird? Like, or would you be like, yeah, what a great idea. Like, let me get in your car and let's go, this total stranger. Like, that sounds like a fantastic idea. What is your response?
I actually be like, all right, here's my number, here's my phone, hit me up. Like when you're ready to go get dinner.
You are 1 in a million.
No, because like guys are, like, I literally had a girl, like at the gym, I wore a shirt that said, I'm already, what was it? Please don't make me a dope today. That tank top, I was at the gym and a girl actually came over. She's like, hey, I had to take my headphone out. She's like, I like your tank top. I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, I like your tank top. I'm like, oh, thank you. I said that back to her, and then we went back on with our workout. Like she actually came over to me and said that, and like I was like, yeah, if she came out her way to say, like, we wasn't even like in the same, like, we're the one part of the gym, the other part. She actually came out, like, kind of walked around to me to say that. So I was like, oh, well, thank you. Like, I wasn't expecting, well, I was like taking off guard, because that doesn't happen.
You were in a gym, though.
I was in a gym.
Different setting.
But I was in the middle of a workout.
Different setting. Completely different setting.
But okay, I'm running by and a girl say, hey, I came back twice, and she was like, hey, let me take you out to eat. I was like, okay, I'm down with my phone. Here's my phone number. Where you want to meet? Like, I'll meet you there, but I'll be more open to one because I don't get hit on often. Like, guys just don't get hit on often. So everybody be like, what?
But there's a difference between hitting on somebody and catcalling them, which hitting on did not happen. Catcalling did happen.
The first time he hit on her, then when she ran away, when she was running away, he was catcalling.
Asking someone what lap they're on is not hitting on them.
No, I don't think that's catcalling. That's just asking a question.
Correct, but I think that saying, hey, baby, let me take you out to dinner, that's catcalling them. A complete stranger that you do not know.
The word phrase, hey, baby, where you just like, hey, real quick, before you, what do you mean to say, hey, baby? Where you just like, quick, I know you're running, but can I take you out, like, take you out to dinner after you get done eating? What if he yelled that at her?
Then that would be different, but that's not what she said.
Yes.
So I'm basing this, my reaction off what she has given the information to us.
But like, what if he did not say, hey, baby? What if he just said, hey, after you get done working out, can I take you out to eat?
I mean, it would be a tiny bit different. Again, the setting plays a huge role in it.
Right.
Like, if you want to bring it back to a gym, let's say a woman stopped you 3 times on a treadmill while you're fully running. Would you even be minutely annoyed at that point because you're stopping what you're doing because someone is trying to disrupt what you're doing?
I would actually see what they're about, but also a guy's not getting, like, a girl's not approaching guys like that.
But so it's not about a guy approaching it. Someone is literally interrupting your workout. You've mentioned, like, even before, that's your mental stress relief.
Yeah.
So, like, do you want someone interrupting that? Like, regardless of being hit on, is it okay for someone to interrupt your workout on multiple occasions, regardless of what they're looking for? Whether it's to compliment a shirt, to ask you what lap you're on, whatever. Is that okay for you?
For me, I'll take the approach, and I've done it. Like, I've taken that approach before, but that's me. Like, I take the approach, and I was just kind of a guy to kind of get another answer on that who works out as well, because I feel like we might have the similar answer where we'd be like, huh? Like we wouldn't be. We'd probably make it quick and curt. Like, oh yeah, cool, thanks. No, or sure, like hit me up afterwards, and then we'll just go back into our workout because we're just not used to it.
3 times in the same workout though.
3 times, and at that point, I'm like, you're definitely trying to hit on me at this point. If I look at it 3 times in the same workout, I'm like, okay, you're trying to hit on me, and then I'm like assume that like she's waiting for me to make the move next.
And you still have this mentality even if you find her not attractive.
I would think she's hitting on me for sure. I wouldn't try to talk to her afterwards. I'm like, okay, and then just walk off by my life. But also, I'm not living in a state of like, in most men, I'm not living in a state of fear that like, if I walk out this gym, she'll be sitting there like.
Right, but also most men don't think ahead enough, and I love to just use the phrase, use their brain, but like they don't put themselves in another scenario to think, how might this come off? It's a very selfish mentality in that aspect. Like, I'm not thinking of how may this look to somebody else. I'm solely thinking of myself, what I want, and what I want to gain from this. That's where I think immediately you're already like redlining it. Like you're already being inappropriate when you are putting your desire to want to seek some type of answer over what somebody else may like be projecting in a variety of ways.
Right.
Is my opinion.
I hear you. And it's just devil advocate again. It's just like we're just not, thinking about that. We just don't think, like, we're thinking like, okay, hey man, shoot your shot, because if you never say anything, you're never going to get the chance to even speak, to her. And it's one of those things where you're like, well, I didn't shoot my shot, so I just missed out on an opportunity. And you'd be like, the girl that got away. Like, what if that girl I saw running that day, what was she like, could have been the one, but heck, I don't know. I never said anything.
How in the absolute hell could you know that someone, I would never walk past someone and be like, wow, that person might have been my one. Like, I don't know anything about them.
But that's what you had to talk to them, try to get to know them. Now, obviously, she did, like, her headphones in, maybe, like, she really wanted to work out. She didn't want to get bothered, and he didn't see that. I was like, I agree with you. Like, he didn't see that, and he should have paid more attention to that. But for guys who are not coming up with this, like, for guys, the tip for you guys out there who are listening, it will be just pay attention to the body language, see what she's doing, and because I don't know, if she found him attractive, would it have been different? Maybe. Yeah, and that's the thing, and but guys, I would say, if she has her headphones in, let her make the first move. Let her come over and try to talk to you, whatever the case may be. If you see her, don't like approach her in that situation. If she's running by you, don't see her on a different day. Maybe hopefully out about. Maybe get on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge if she's on a dating app and try to talk to her that way. If she's out there, if she's not, then if you keep an eye out in public, because like she didn't want to be bothered, but also she thought these dudes were douchebags. I wonder though if she really thought, like, if she found them attractive, how different would the story be? But that's for each individual person.
I guess my question is, it like, from a man's perspective, is it completely in your realm of things that you think that you could do as a man to think ahead of time before you act and say, before I make any type of move, let me think of how this might be interpreted? Is that too difficult or challenging to do to the point where you think that you would be more likely to not do it than to do it?
Like, do I think
Like, do you think that you could be able to take a step back before you made a move like this if you were in the situation and say, before I do this, let me think to myself, is this appropriate? Like, is this okay? Like, do you think, like, I'm going to scare her off by doing this because she was, like, running by herself? I mean, before we even got on this thing, before we started recording, you even said, like, you're like, historically, men attack women.
Yeah.
So if you know that, why can you not use that logic before you make a move like this? You knew that before you even said anything.
Because if I was in that position, I would think I'm not aiming to harm. Like, my goal is not to harm, so I wouldn't want to, like, I wouldn't think, like, hey, I know who I am, so, like, I'm not looking to harm. I'm being genuine with my thought and just say, hey, this is what I'm asking about. And I understand where she's coming from, like, hey, no, I'm running by myself. There's 2 dudes. I can get kidnapped today. That's terrifying. I don't want that. And as a guy, we're not sitting there thinking like, I'm going to kidnap her. No, we're thinking like, hey, I think she's hot. I'm going to try to shoot my shot. She was like, I'm not being bothered. And are we thinking like, do we men think that way? No, we're not thinking that she's going to take this creepy wise. And then now you start getting guys who won't approach women because we're like, she's going to think I'm creepy. She's going to think because I didn't notice her, she was typing on her computer where the case may be, and I saw her there, and I was like, well, I passed her 3 times. The second time she looked up at me, I said hi, she said hi back, and went back to working. And I was like, oh, ended up being one more time. Let me ask her, like, hey, the approach she did was not good, and she already wasn't attracted to him, but I get it. But for him he did not do a good approach at all. I mean, like, it's bad. But as a guy thinking, like, would she think this is creepy? No. I wouldn't think, I wouldn't process that, like, these are the dangers that she's looking for. I wouldn't think of that in that situation.
I will say, as a woman, regardless if I thought this person was attractive or not, if someone is yelling at me from the side of the road and cannot even approach me and have a decent conversation when it is time, or even be able to determine when it is not time, that is the last person I would ever want to be on a date with, at dinner with, hanging out with, anything. Because it's very similar to getting catcalled from the side of somebody's window. Like, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't want to find the person that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with hanging out of someone else's driver's side window. Right. Like, not where I need to meet you.
I would say at least he didn't do it the first time. Not saying that it's better, like, not saying the situation is better, but at least he, like, didn't open up with a cat call. If he did that immediately, I'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, he at least saw her 3 times before he made the horrible way to approach her, though. But
we might have to agree to disagree on this one.
But I get it, though. I'm playing devil advocate. I completely agree. Like, I understand where the fear comes from. I understand the situation. I get it. It's just like, do men think that far ahead? Like, we're not thinking about all of the things. If men had the same situation where we was getting kidnapped by women left and right, we probably would think differently when it comes to...
It's just not impossible for men to have that thought.
I know.
Men actively choose to not think like that before they make an approach. Because in a sense, I feel like that's like a selfish act.
And I was thinking about how it might, like, the age, like, I would say, she's around, 24, 25? Yeah. So maybe dudes around 26, 27, they don't know, they're not thinking about that. They're not taught, like, it's back to the other women, like, women have to teach men. It's a situation where, like, yeah, these men are not taught or having conversations about, like, hey, this is the reason why a girl might not talk to you, because she might feel like she's about to get kidnapped by you. Like, dudes are not taught that. We're not thinking like, oh, maybe I shouldn't approach her because maybe she might think that I'm going to do some harm, versus like, I know I'm a good person. I don't come with any intent to harm. I'll shoot my shot. Versus like, men like we're not openly thinking, we don't sit and talk to each other like, hey, check your surroundings, guys. Make sure you do not walk into her in a situation where she might feel uncomfortable. Make sure you're in a situation where we just don't, we're not having conversations about that to open up. And this is probably something that people need to listen to and hear. Like, okay, guys, as you're moving forward and looking to approach a girl, look at where you're at, look at your surroundings, look who you're with, look at who she's with, look what she's doing. So that way you know you're invading her time and space, and might come off creepy versus not. And I said before, like, if you're not coming with intent to be a creep, shoot your shot. But the situation here, these people probably didn't think they was creepy. They came off creepy because of the way they went about it. So they wasn't being cognizant of what was going on. But also they probably wasn't taught how to be cognizant of what's going on.
I feel like I disagree just based off of her comment of they were already like looking like they were the type. For me, I feel like I have my own idea of that. And I think right away, if she would have left that out, I would have thought that like maybe they were just your average guy living in a neighborhood, being respectful and not know how to do anything. But like, to me, it just seems like they were almost trying to antagonize her based off of that comment alone.
All right, next video here. This is from the _Dadvocate. All right, women explaining men 73. He has no clue you're hitting on him. All right, let's go.
Ladies, I cannot stress this enough. Guys have no clue when you're hitting on them. They're not playing dumb. They genuinely don't see it. Trust me, the only people picking up your hints are the other ladies in the room watching him fumble. So, idea, because low-key men and women do still want to date each other, what if we start helping each other out? Ladies, start telling guys when girls are hitting on them. Better yet, start telling guys when you're hitting on them. Think of all the missed opportunities. And you can really make it that simple. You can straight up tell a guy, just so you know, I've been hitting on you this entire time, and he will be like, me? Or like, bro, she was definitely hitting on you. For the whole rest of this week, dude's gonna be like, if you see something, say something.
All right, what do you think of that?
I honestly have no idea. I've never hit on someone and them not have a clue because that's usually reciprocated.
So what's your way to hit on somebody?
Exactly how I do because it's been working.
Like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've never once had this issue.
Really?
Ever.
Like, but what, like, let's say, because we met on a dating app. Mm-hmm. So, like, we already had that interaction or that
Understanding
that we're both here for attraction. We're already attracted to each other. So, what about in person, though?
What's your question?
Like, how would you like hit on somebody in person?
I mean, it depends on. I think that's a very broad question. It's dependent on the person. It's dependent on the surroundings. Like,
coffee shop. You're in a coffee shop. Y'all in wine together.
I have no idea. Like, I'm trying to think.
Because I can tell you, I would miss probably. I can't tell you the last time I actually got hit on in person. Like, besides being told I filled out in all the right places by an older lady, I was like, and that was probably 4 months ago. The last time I remember that, I was like, don't like the way that sounded. But I appreciate the compliment. You're trying to give me a compliment. It came off really just wrong. Also, I was at work too, but I was like, it set wrong. But that's the last time I remember it. And I remember being told like, hey, when you I've been told like, some ladies in the office might find you attractive. And I was like, who? That was it. I was like, who? Like I remember those instances of being told that. Cause I was like, and that's like a guy we don't get hit on often, so we remember that stuff a lot more. Do I know who's hit on me in the office? I have no idea. Mm-hmm. But the fact that somebody came up to me like, hey, just want to let you know when you change, get ready for the gym, be careful. Like there's women looking at you. I'm like, I can see that because I went from wearing a dress up suit to wearing a tank top walking out the door. That makes complete sense. Anybody else be like, mind their own business, like what the heck? But then also walking out, so you can't tell me I'm out of dress code, I'm leaving the building, I'm not in the office. But being told like mid work in a suit and tie, when I was dressed up, that like, oh, you filled out in all the right places from a lady who's in her 70s. I'm like,
I mean, that's odd. Like, I would think that's her obviously hitting on you.
Yeah.
And you're able to pick it up, right?
Yeah, so I'm just like, you're way too. Oh, like most of the time, as a guy or girls hitting me, I won't take like, oh, she's just being nice. Like I won't take her to actually hit him. Just like, oh, she's being nice. Oh, you look nice. Thank you. Like I wouldn't take that. It's her actually hitting on you, really, because that just sounds like a regular compliment to me.
I feel like women don't comment on men's appearance unless they're hitting on them. Like note one. No. Like that's literally like rule one.
But see, we're not thinking that way. We're like,
how?
Huh?
How?
Because we don't get hit on like that's not like that's to me. That's her being.
How many people tell you look nice like on a regular, women wise, women your age, or a little older, maybe a little younger. Often.
Not at all. Yeah, But that's me.
Like what?
But that's her being friendly to me, not her just hitting on me. Because friendly, because a dude can be like a girl can be friendly, but then she doesn't be. She's not me, and she's attracted. Oh, I just thought you looked nice, but I'm not attracted to him. That I've been told before too. Oh, you look nice, but you're not my type. Or I'm not attracted to you. You're like, okay.
Maybe it starts with like you look nice, and then her continuing to like have a conversation, maybe like surrounding like things that you have on, or like, what are you doing today? Like, oh, you must be doing something like fancy because you look really nice. Like, and her like saying that over and over again, versus like, oh yeah, you look great. Like, that's different. Like, but someone who's continuously trying to engage in the conversation, like, people don't just comment people. Like,
right.
I would never, like, same thing vice versa, though. Like, if a man walked up to me and be like, you look nice today, that would never happen at my work unless I was being hit on by somebody. Because it's inappropriate and out of line.
Right.
So, like, I feel like it would be obvious, but I don't know. I guess I'm wrong. Apparently, I'm very wrong.
Because we just don't get hit on often. Like we don't see it, so we don't know when somebody's coming to attempt to approach us to try to hit on us, or just like she's just being nice and friendly because actually she feels like she needs to, or the environment she is. Like, even I was out with a bunch of friends and a group of girls came over to us. I still wouldn't think I was being hit on. I think I would just be like, they can't talk to one of the guys here. Like, I just wouldn't. It wouldn't dawn on me or register at all. Like, until like at her weeks later, like, oh, that was her hitting on me.
Do you think that comes from the majority of men's lack of confidence? Because do you feel like extremely confident men have that happen and do not think that they were being hit on? Because I'm thinking if you do that to a very confident man, he would immediately know that he is being hit on. As opposed to if you do that with somebody who has like moderate to like normal or even less normal, like not like standard of confidence level in themselves, they might be like, oh, she's just being polite. Like, she couldn't hit on me. Like, no girls ever hit on me. But if you tell that woman same thing to a man who is exuberantly confident, I guarantee you he'd be like, oh my God, she wants me so bad. Like,
I don't know what that because I think it'd be more of like he's gonna approach. He's super confident. He's gonna approach. He'll make his shot.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying she's approaching him and his interpretation of it, regardless of what he would do.
Oh, he wouldn't think that she's hitting on him. He'd be like, oh, I'm about to hit on her. She came over here. I'm about to hit on her. That's what he would think.
But she came over there because he was attracted to her. Or because she was attracted to him, is what I'm saying.
Yes, she would come over with that, but he wouldn't think that way. Like, my thought, like, she's not coming over because she's attracted. She's just coming over to be friendly, but now I'm about to hit on her now she's over here.
Men with confidence know that they are hot.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the moment she's over here, I'm like, I'm about to hit on her.
Because she thinks I'm attractive.
Because he thinks, like, he automatically assumes he's hot, so therefore every girl who talks to him automatically wants him. It's an egotistical thing.
Exactly.
But it's more... So
that's exactly what I'm saying.
But he's going to think that he's making the move. It's not her making the move. That's
no, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
No, I know you're saying you think it because of lack of men, so dudes feel like, oh, I'm not going to... I'm not confident, so therefore I'm not sure if she's hitting on me or not. But the dude who's already confident, he automatically thinks everybody's fair game.
Everyone's hitting on him.
Yeah, so therefore he's not gonna think that is everybody's hitting on him, so he's gonna make automatically he's like, no matter what move I'm making.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But he's not gonna think of it in a way of like he's not gonna think of it like, oh, she's being friendly. He's gonna think like she obviously wants me. That's why she's over
That's
here.
exactly what I'm saying.
So
he is more likely to understand that he is being hit on because he has confidence. As opposed to
I don't think if you ask him like, hey, was she hitting on you? Like, no, I hit on her. He will say that to you.
I get
because he's already like he'll already be like, no, I hit on her. But she'd be like, no, and he asked the girl, she's like, I put myself in a situation for you to talk to me. And you're like, nah, I came to you first. Like, I'm dead serious.
As somebody who has dated extremely confident men who are very into themselves, I would completely disagree with that.
Really?
1000%. Because I have seen it happen myself in a variety of situations. Absolutely, I disagree with that. 1000%. Everyone who is in that, like, I think I'm so hot, thinks that everyone thinks they're so hot. That's why the woman is trying to make a move on him. Whether or not he chooses to make a move on her again is besides the situation. Is not what I'm trying to discuss. Like, simply the understanding of, am I being hit on? Yes or no. he immediately thinks yes, because he already thinks and knows that he is of a certain standard, whether it be like a beauty standard or a monetary standard or, you know, whatever. He already exuberates confidence enough to where he understands that he is desirable. Therefore, when a woman approaches him, he knows that he is being hit on because he falls into that category. Whether that same woman approaches somebody who is maybe in jeans and a t-shirt that just looks like a normal average Joe, may not understand that same woman is doing the exact same thing to him because he does not exuberate the amount of confidence that this guy over here does. I've seen it happen. Like, we may agree to disagree on this one too, but like, that's it.
All right. What do you guys think? Please put in the comments below down there. We're running out of time actually selling this episode. But yeah, you guys think about that. What do you guys think of this episode? What do you guys think of this discussion? Because I'm curious. I'm actually curious what you guys' thoughts are too, and what you guys think from some of the videos you listen to from here. But Maggie, thanks for coming on. I know you gotta go. That's why I'm like wrapping it up right now, because we're not gonna be able to get to Am I the Jerk because we're running out of time. But Maggie, thank you for coming on this episode. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Love to have you back on.
I'm shaking my hands.
Everybody else, thanks for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. If you want to ask a question, please put in the comment section below. Also, you can send a question to the email of AliZaka@nerdydating@gmail.com. It's AliZaka@nerdydating@gmail.com. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Love y'all, and see y'all next episode of Nerdy Dating, and keep being awesome. Thank you for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate it. If there's another episode you want to watch, you can look at it right there. If you want to subscribe to the page and watch more content, it's down here. Also, you have a question about dating, you want to put it in the comment section, go ahead and do it. Or you can send me your dating question to my email of AliZaka@nerdydating@gmail.com. That's AliZaka@nerdydating@gmail.com. And I will answer your question on the next episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank you so much for watching the show. I appreciate you, and keep being awesome.